Okay, I was looking for a way to, talk about Aspire in GitHub. So I found a way. My name is Sinan, and I am the co-organizer for Azure and .NET User Group. I'm working at ARINCO, and I talk a lot about Aspire. So if you guys don't know it, you should come one of my talks or watch online. So I saw this tweet one day, probably as soon as he tweeted about it. And he was talking about Aspire development team start using agentic workflow in a way that blew my mind. So if we look at this picture, we have these AI created pull requests. So what's happening here is Aspire repository, which is living here. As soon as they have a customer facing or client facing change, agentic workflow apparently triggers and create a documentation update on their another repository that is hosting their aspire.dev documentation and product website. And example of those requests, probably a lot of requests is coming from there, as we can see, like real one here. So these are created via agentic workflow. What is agentic workflow? It is using LLM and prompts in your GitHub Actions with GitHub Actions to take a bit extra steps, being more agentic in your development lifecycle. So for this purpose, also I didn't have any experience. I want to talk about this and maybe do like a demo. What I've done is I create a repository. If I open. So what I've done here is it was an empty repository initially. I'm going to zoom in a sec. Close everything. I start with an empty repository and I was like, but how can I present this? And I go to Copilot plan mode on CLI. And I said, in one of the interviews I've done like a couple of years ago, they asked me URL shortener product design. I was like, give me documentation requirements and all the planning steps for URL shortener application on Azure. And I realized Azure part may not be needed. So I said, give me with Aspire, because I love Aspire. So I create these documents from that. And then I create on top of that an agent with Copilot again. And this agent go through to this document, these documents I have as a requirements and create some tasks. Why I'm doing this? Because what I'm trying to automate is as soon as I create a task here, and if I push this task to main branch, I want to create an issue from it. And GitHub Agentic Workflows help with this. I try to assign that issue to an agent or create a pull request from it. I hit some walls, but we have a working demo there actually. So this one is a failed one probably. If I zoom in here a bit. So assign issue to an agent. One sec. Oh, okay.
Not disconnected.
And just try again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill my display link because wait, don't need it. So this is the failed one. So this is create issue from task. This works fine, but how I create this? So if I go to GitHub Agentic Workflows documentation, you use GitHub CLI, not the GitHub Copilot CLI, the GH1. And if we go here, so what I done is we see the documentation. I set up my repository for agentic workflows. When you do this, it helps you a lot with another agent. So it creates, on top of a couple of extra stuff, it creates an agent for me So what I can do now is I can go, because I am brave, I'm going to do YOLO, and I'm going to do banner because I love the banner. So it gives me this agentic workflows agent. So what I can do from now on, I don't need to know any of the CLIs, which you can explicitly just use those, like GitHub. You can use these commands manually if you want, or you can use this agent and say, create an agentic workflow that triggers when PR is merged, and updates documentation automatically. So you can just trigger this, and it will create a agentic workflow. But what does agentic workflow look like if you want to work manually? So instead of doing this, if you do one of the other examples is create a new workflow from scratch. So this is going to create, actually, let's do that as well. Why not? Let's call it my workflow failing. And we can ask like what it's going to do, manual trigger, Copilot. So it asks what I want to do here. It didn't ask actually last time. I updated this morning and it started asking this. So it's going to be, let's do everything. Why not? I'm not going to run it. Yeah. It is not June yet, right? So provides what it's going to do. What it should do. It will create markdown file under docs2 folder with the change sets from merged PRs. Compile failed. I don't know why. I want to see what it's create. So it's probably failed because I give too much stuff. But what it did is it created a file here. This file is interesting. It shows the what tools I'm going to use. What are the safe outputs? Safe outputs are what is going to be the output of this action. So is it going to create an issue? Is it going to create a PR? Anything. And then, yes, this change, I wasn't ready for this. It was very different. Actually, I'm going to probably can see in my Git history. So the example of this, if I try, this is live demo, right? So why not?
You mistake updating just before the demo.
Yeah.
On pre-release.
Yeah, this is, you're right. So yeah, that is, in that case, there's also a add wizard. I think it run add wizard for now instead of it. Did I do? Oh, because I did new, it took, should create agent flow new. I did AW new, right? Yeah, I did that. I don't know why it take me through the wizard though. Anyway, I'm not gonna do that again. I don't like failing on the same thing multiple times. So, so let's see what this agent creates. Created assign issue to agent MD compiled. It's probably, oh, I don't know where that's gone actually. So these are the tools you have and play and fail because I don't want to be the only miserable one here. Update. Oh, was this the? Okay, sorry. This was the creating documentation workflow. Sorry. Okay, do this. So that agentic workflow agent is creating agent is not finished yet. Sorry, I was checking my previous failed attempt. While that's doing that, I want to show you guys what an agentic workflow run looks like, a successful one and a failed one, because they are fun to look. So if I, okay. So they have really nice summary here, like the And these are the steps it's generally gone through: activation, agent detection, safe output, and conclusion. This one is one of the successful ones, so it creates an issue. So we can see what it's going through in the agent conversation, and in the safe output summary, we can see which issue it's created. So all the issues I have here are, other than this one, I'm going to come back to that later on, is AI issue labeled ones are created from my tasks here. So every time that agentic workflow runs, it just takes one of the way it works, the way I prompt is take one of the tasks. It doesn't have any dependency and it's not created as an issue yet. So create one. So it's about your prompting ability. And initialize.NET, the same setup here. What about this one? Where's this one coming from? Because I keep getting failed one. I'm going to show one closed one as well soon. So that one is, so if an agentic workflow fails, you can disable this. But for example, we can look at, let's look at the PR one, because my original idea was I want to create tasks, and when a pull request happen, pull request merge, check the tasks folder, and if there's new issues come, create a issue with that. And if it exists, doesn't create, and create a dependency graph. It does that right now. And I want to create another agentic workflow, which is the pull request one, that was going to create a pull request from the newly created issue. And then GitHub warned me, with this flow, I might trigger infinite loop inside GitHub. So that is clever about that. So, but I faced other problems as well. One of them is, so when we go details, I'm going to show the first ones actually. So when I first run, so it runs and fails somewhere here. And then, because it's failed and need to do something, it's either generally a permission problem or some other problems. What it does, it goes and creates an issue for me. So this one is assign issue to agent failed, and it's recommend me what I should do about it. Or you can take the error and use agent that create for you and work with it as well. So an Aspire team is using these agentic workflows to create a pull request on another repository. So that's possible. You just need to tweak the permissions and details of it. So yeah, that's my failed demo. Actually, it's half failed, right? Because I create issues, and every time, I mean, I create 3 agentic workflows, so, and one of them is working. So wait, maybe this is that one. This is that one. Yeah, one of them is still running. It take around. Maybe I might be run out of my token already, so because I'm playing with it for a while. So yeah, I didn't have any experience with this, and I want to talk about this, so I come and fail here. So why not? So it's failed. And this one failed later on, so there's definitely a different problem here, because generally fail on safe output. So it can fail because of your limitations. To be able to use this, you need to give, one thing you need to set is on agentic workflows, you cannot use it with free plans, as I remember. I don't even know if you can even use with, can you use it with pro plans? Okay, so one pre-requirements is you need to come here and you need to create a GitHub Copilot GitHub token from your own personal access token. You need to set this one, and for other depends on what kind of action you want to write. You might need extra repository secrets here as well. With these, it's endless. There's a lot of possibilities to automate the workflow. So yeah, if you guys have any question, We can ask to Copilot because I probably don't have the answer.
Very gracefully.
Well, very gracefully. Not everyone can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna burn all your tokens in one night.
No, so normally you can set the triggers, but I set the triggers for only when I, what's it called? Workflow dispatch, so it's not automatically will run. So it will only run when I manually trigger. One thing when you are creating it, so you create let's talk about the working one, maybe. So create issue from tasks. So what you do is you create a markdown file. This is the issue. And you go, this is a agentic workflow creation is a bit different than default workflow creation. So you create this markdown, and then you go to CLI and compile this. And when you compile, it creates this log file. This is the real thing that runs. And this is way more complicated for us to write. So they are using a CLI to automate writing this. But as far as I know, this plus this file combined together to run.
You notice any quirks with the background and YAML conversion?
No, I mean, I started using yesterday, so I just or like over the weekend. So to be honest, when I saw this documentation update way that they are doing across repositories between Microsoft repositories, I was like really impressed. And they are merging. So David Fowler is one of the guys, other than David Pine, I'm following on Twitter, and they are media generally, and they are going more automating their documentation. So yes, I mean, yeah.
So if you commit the markdown manually,
Mhm.
automatically convert it and create the log file, or you use the GitHub or
You can create another agentic workflow to do that if you want. I think, but no, it does not. As far as I know, you need to manually, you need to do this, go here and let me see if it's created. Okay, this one created for me, the other workflow. So you need to go compile. You need to do this. And that's going to fail because of the previous one. But the agent one that creates, when agent creates the workflow for you, it compiles it for you most of the time. So if it doesn't compile, you can just compile. But yeah. Hello.
Just conceptually, so it looks like this Aspire team is using this new pattern.
Yeah.
Right. So any ideas how it would integrate with their management? Do you reckon this would replace like the likes of Jira or this management they're using?
I don't know how they are managing their tasks, but I know they are using GitHub a lot. They put their roadmap there, and they use issues as well, as far as I know. That's what I'm seeing. And the way they are using is right now for not managing tasks. It's more about managing documentation. So they're not for triggering like a real work. They are assigning agents or using Copilot CLI cloud mode, as far as I know. And Aspire team doing this Aspire 5 Fridays as a live stream every 2 weeks. And on those live stream, I see they are using Aspire CLI or agents HQ on GitHub a lot. So, yeah, any other questions? Let's not make this Aspire talk. We can do another .NET user group for that. No question? Yeah, go for it.
There's MCP capabilities on GitHub? Create those issues from somewhere else?
I don't know, but so what you do here is let them save outputs. Give me a sec. You have these permissions here. Design, create issues. So there might be a way to do that, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if it is capable of MCP as well. But documentation might tell, so I don't know. But yeah, it is also public preview kind of stuff, right? It's not like ready
It's the,
agentic workflow.
I don't know, so it's still in preview.
So
So it's
they're-
changing, hence the update to the CLI suddenly fundamentally changes the way that it operates.
if I go my initial commit, I can show the original of these. Forget where was that? So here. Not here. Yeah, anyway, so it's different. It was giving you like everything in one file, and you were commenting out some parts and changing it, but I think they changed the design how to do this. So yeah. I realize I'm not good at using GitHub for seeing the things, so maybe I can, if I open the create issue file and check the timeline. So yeah, it was showing, the left side was like, these are all the safe outputs you could have. Right now they're not showing it, so you need to go and read the documentation. And for each output, you can configure like what you're gonna do. But they have a lot of capabilities, or like request, merge, so yeah, I think I'm done. Unless anyone has a question.
Can you show me how to migrate the token, classic token? Tell them.
How to set them?
Yes,
Okay, so
we use Agentic and we the token issues.
so documentation tell you what token you need to use, and the token. So you click your picture. You may not be as handsome as me. You click settings, and then go down here.
Last one.
It was on developer settings, right? So you go here, fine-grained tokens.
So we should choose this one, fine-grained token.
Yeah, generally for the new stuff.
And that?
So you create a new token.
Really token.
You need to use mobile. Not my mobile, your own mobile. So yeah, set up your.
Let's choose some privilege. How can which one should I choose?
What you're gonna choose is depends on your requirement, right? Right now, I have already two tokens, one for GitHub Copilot, Copilot token thing, and the other one is models. So if you are working with GitHub models, you need that model token. If you are working with
Yes.
this thing, you need this thing. So there's a documentation. Let's not go through that documentation one by one. But what you do is depends on what kind of access you want to give to that token, your permission change. So for this one, I think it was so Copilot requests. So this is the token. Or if you want to use the same token for multiple things, you can assign like this one. Then I'm not sure if it's a good idea. I don't know the best practice about tokens. You need to talk to Jerome about this. Maybe we need a
New
presentation.
permissions as you need.
So yeah, do not do what I do. So if I created this token, it will give me access to Copilot requests and models. And models are GitHub models. So I could create this token. Let's say I create this token. Then I go to repository settings because I want that token is used in these actions as a secret. So I'm going to go to secrets and variables, go to actions, and depends. You might have multiple environments, and you might need separate secrets for each environment. And then, yeah, either in environment secrets or repository secrets, you create a new repository secret and put the name, put the secret, save it, and use your phone again, probably, if it asks. And that's how it used.
I try it later.
Good, definitely. I think I create a lot of questions today. That's generally my purpose. So if you have more questions than when you arrive, I succeed, even though my demo failed. So thank you.